G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel to part number 24 of my Aether Apostate playthrough with Manfred. So last episode we made it up to Barrowholm, and apparently we still need to find it. But yeah, I asked at the end of the last episode if anyone really had any strong feelings one way or the other about hostile versus friendly with Barrowholm, and it seemed like most of you just kind of didn't care. So I'm going to go with what I was initially going to do, and I'm going to go hostile with them. Because, yes, they have some nice stuff, and before I do go hostile with them, let's go have a look at all the nice stuff that I'm not going to get access to. First and most obvious being the Ravager fight. So this character will not be able to fight the Ravager. Oh, I haven't talked to them yet. I guess we can actually go back to normal, because I do want to show this. There is a decent amount of stuff from Barrowholm that we're just not going to be able to use. Generally speaking, when I have done this in the past, it's just kind of been fine. The Barrowholm augments are quite good, but there are slightly less good variations available from other factions. And a lot of their gear is Vitality and Bleed focused, which, I mean, we're not playing Vitality or Bleed, but you could convert this over to a Vitality Drain Essence build and you would not have access to it. So this belt, I don't think I've ever used this belt. I usually go for Lunar Valgroth belts with Necromancer main mastery builds. We're not playing a soldier, so I just don't care about this belt. And even if I was playing soldier, I would just farm what's his face, the big crab back here in the gloom mold. I would just farm him for a much better belt, so that's fine. We've got bleeding and physical damage. We've got vitality damage. We've got no damage. That's actually kind of pretty good now that I'm looking at it. Chance to avoid projectiles, fizz resist, 2 other good resists, freeze resist. Yeah, this is actually quite good. I'm not going to use it though, obviously. Yeah, vitality, poison, aether? I did not expect to find aether damage. Yeah. The main thing though is the augments. Bleeding resistance, I'm 99% sure is available elsewhere. Let's just double check that. So bleeding resistance, this is definitely going to be the single largest source. Yeah, Ogdenbog has 10% at level 90, and then the Malmouth resistance has 10% vitality and 10% bleeding on one of them. So this is the largest single source on an augment in the game, but you can get it from other places. 4% health is useful, but it's not amazing, so I don't really care about missing that. And then vitality, again, you're going to get this from elsewhere. Let me just double check where exactly. Kaiman's has Vitality and Chaos. Devil's Crossing has Vitality and Poison. Death's Vigil has Vitality and Aether. Death's Vigil also has a 12% Vitality resistance. So you can see the augments, which, unless you want some of the equipment, the augments are the main things that you will kind of miss out on, if that makes sense. And the blueprints here, the blueprint itself is character locked, but if you got these on another character, you could just craft it and you can still use these anyway. So the faction armor, which is level 90, is not something you're going to care about. The augments are all, yes, slightly better than other options, but it's not going to be crippling. And then poison, fire, health and pet stuff, vitality and bleeding. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. So we're going to go hostile. One, I guess, actual downside to going hostile with them, in addition to never being able to fight Ravager, is that you lose out on all the XP from those quests. And it's not the end of the world because, again, it's available elsewhere, but it is a good chunk of XP. So let's go find Scorv and give him the good news. Now he's pretty much just going to disappear. So this is where the thing that we want is. I'm not sure I can help you. So yeah, selecting hostile with Barrowholm will reset your faction reputation with them. Reset the hostile. Alright, now we just kill Scorv. We are officially despised by Barrowholm. Now, I can go back to Elite and fix this, if I decide later that I would prefer to... if I would prefer to be friendly with them. I can go back to Elite, run through the entire campaign, get to this point, and choose to side with them, and then it will reset that choice, and then at that point I will be locked into it. Alright, let's go find the cellar. So we have to search the Barrowholm cellar for the Ugdenbog fetish. We now also have all of the village members. Yeah, they don't like us too much anymore. Probably because we just destroyed their leader. And now we have access to a somewhat unique area. Scorv's Key will open this cellar. Now, this is an area that if you are friendly with Barrowholm, you cannot gain access to. Because obviously. And there are monster infrequent items that drop from the boss of this little dungeon that are not available from anywhere else. Mostly vitality damage stuff, I believe. If you watched my Reaper playthrough, I actually did some massive convoluted scheme of go hostile with them in normal, level up to 90, or, you know, get close to it, because I wanted the Reaper pants. The Reaper Nemesis is also only available if you go hostile with these guys. So there was some scheme I did where I leveled up and ended up farming all the stuff and then going hostile with them, or no, then going friendly with them so as I could fight the Ravager, and then I just never did anyway. So I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to do that this time. We are hostile 5 ever, and death to cannibals. So let's go ahead and take them out. Spread the damage around so these healy boys in the back don't know who to heal. And actually can't anyway. Alright, let's go down. You can actually get Nemesis with these guys incredibly quickly. So if you're worried at all about the Reaper, then be very careful how many times you run this place. So where is Barrowholm? So we're already here. We got to, like, Despised. Let's just see 4005. Let's see how many times we have to kill Namadea to get to Despise. I think it was like 4 or 5 times. Or to get to Nemesis. On that Reaper that I was talking about. I think it took 4 or 5 runs before I hit Nemesis. They definitely level up. Or faction down, I guess. Much faster than the other factions. Same with the Outcast. If you start killing the actual Outcast, you will be Nemesis in very short order. See if we can get these guys to come up here. There we go. So you can see that number ticking very, very quickly. I do think they need to add more reasons to actually go hostile with Barrowholm, because at the moment, all of the advantages, really, unless you need specifically the MIs from Namadea, who is here, unless you specifically need those MIs, there is very little advantage to going hostile with them. Or I guess the Reaper, if you need the Reaper pants. Then I guess you're going to have to go hostile, but there's no advantages other than that. It's all downside. Alright. Glacial of Fallen Skies on a... that could be a cold hat, I think. What do we got here? Shadow Dance, Vindictive Flame, Fire to Cold Conversion on Pneumatic Burst. Yeah, this is not horrible. Level 94 required. That's probably one you'd want to keep. I'm going to sell it, but... Glacial is cold, Fallen Skies is lightning. Yeah, I mean, it's a cold item with a cold prefix and a proc that is partly cold, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And if we look at our faction now, we started somewhere down here. This is 1 run, so 3 or 4 would probably be pretty close. I'm not hugely interested in getting Nemesis with these guys, but I probably will in fairly short order just because they exist out in the wild. And I will probably end up killing a few of them here and there. Alright, we're standing in the goop here, which is not great. Let's get out of that. There we go. So Bone Scavengers, Death Grips, Vitality Pet Stuff, Time Warped Walkers. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use those. Boulder's Armor, I think I've had several pieces of that now. Pretty good physical set. Pretty good physical set for leveling, I should say. It's not amazing at max level. Here's the Ravager's little lore note. There you go. You can have a read of that. Time Warped Walkers, I am kind of planning on using. Let's just go back and forth between these. So Aether damage percentage is the same, Chaos damage is irrelevant, movement speed is irrelevant, +4 to maximum movement speed is not irrelevant. 4 versus 3 physical resist, not really a massive deal. I would probably take 1% less physical resist for the max move speed. And better resistances across the board on these ones. Alright, cool. So, new boots. May end up using these, actually. We'll see how we go. What's that? 84, 84. Death Sentence, Spectral Wrath versus Drain Essence. I think we go with the Resistance Shredding one. But that will be a bridge to burn later. Alright, so we've been in here, we've searched the Barrowholm, and now we have the Ugdenbog Fetish. And we have some quests to turn in back at Coven's Refuge. And that is all of the quests related to Barrowholm. So when you side against them, it's short and sweet, and now we can move on. The downside, of course, is, like I said, you lose out on a lot, and I mean a lot of XP. So let's go ahead and chuck more into... Actually, am I going to do that? Word of Renewal is really good. I am kind of wanting more damage at this point, though. I mean, crit damage, yeah, but otherwise, no. I think damage is kind of tapped out at this point, so that's fine. And what did I need? Venom Gaze, Leaf Mane, Ugdenbloom. How do I not have Ugdenbloom? I always have Ugdenbloom. Alright, done. That's fine. We'll go turn this in. I'm going to vendor all this stuff, and then we'll get started on the Chaos start. The Chaos stuff. Alright. Matron Molostria, I actually forgot we had to do these quests still, so that's fine. And yeah, I think I'm going to hang on to those attribute points for the moment. There's nothing really that I'm super scared of that 5 attribute points is going to fix. So I'm going to sit on those probably until level 100. I doubt I'm going to find anything that I'm scared of that you know, 10, 15 even attribute points is going to fix. So I'll hang on to it for attributes for... This is the worst sentence I think I've ever said. I'm going to hang on to it just in case I need attributes to equip certain things. There we go. Alright, so we're here for the Trapped Wraith. There's one up the top here. And there is another one pretty much directly south. It's not quite directly south, but it's close enough. It'll do the job. It's going to be down sort of here-ish. I am, of course, in the area for the foot. You can see it on the map there, the footprint, which means Ugdenbloom, which obviously I want. Alright, and we've got another Wraith here, so let's go ahead and take him out. And that'll be 2 of the 3. The other one is actually inside the town. Well, technically it's not inside the town, but it's like, it's right here. So we'll take this Trapped Wraith out. A whole bunch of the Skelly Bros on the go. There we go, boom. Quest done. Then we have to do the Defend the Center of Town quest, and I think we're done at that point. The next question is, do I care? Yeah, I think I still want reputation. Alright, I'm going to protect you. And let's go. Start getting the Skelly Bros out. Make sure I cast Word of Pain before I just drain them completely dry. Alright, so Stone Basilisk here. It's probably going to turn me to stone or something at some point. Also, I've been thinking about that ring. I want damage, and that ring is a source of damage, so I may just kind of use it. Not that one, although that one is quite good, or it would be if it was the high-level version. If that was mythical, that's like half of a lightning pet build. Okay. Never mind. Are we done? Yeah, I think we're done. Cool. Let me go check the bank, see if I still have that ring, because if I do, I think I'm going to put it on. And I'm going to vendor all this stuff, because I'm not going to use it. Apologies to anyone who's playing a Lightning Kabbalist and just watched me sell that pair of gloves. I didn't even look at the percentage on there, 100% and 46. Pretty sure the acid converted to vitality on the pets there is 40 to 60%, so that's kind of a bad roll. But you could also get something like 8. I think it's 80 to 120% fizz to vitality, and then anything over 100 is just going to round down to 100. I think that's how that works. Anyway, they're gone. Sorry, not sorry. Seal of Resonance, not horrible. Not amazing, but not horrible. I'm not going to make those anyway. Seal of Corruption is probably the one you want. And actually, the Wrathstones are still pretty good, even sort of max level-ish. Okay, where did I get that skeleton key, actually? Ah, never mind, it's fine. So, we're kind of done here. Let's check for that ring while I'm still thinking about it. Is it still here? Yes, it is. Which ring am I going to swap this out for? I've got 2 living rings. This ring has a whole bunch of elemental and nothing else, so I think it's got to be that one. Resistances are still good. This has reduced the range on my Word of Agony, which I don't love, and I think I'm going to hold on to this ring just in case. Vitality is 40 over. 40% over is all you ever need on Vitality, so I think I'll leave that for now. This will also get me some energy back if I'm taking damage from spells. Alright, so basically that ring, if I just take everything else off. Yep, we're getting naked in the town center. Nothing could possibly go wrong. And we may as well unbind this. This is probably a mistake, but I just want to show the proc from the ring. There it is. This is kind of the reason why I was hesitant to use it, because it looks like Aether Goop. But having said that, this build does tend to turret anyway, and if I'm going to be a turret standing in this, then I'm taking minimal damage from the goop regardless. So I'm just going to roll with it. Alright. Off to Malmouth. Now, do I have the item? Yes, I do. This section here, you really, really, really absolutely must have maximum resistances for Chaos, Vitality, Fire, Poison, all the usual Chthonic stuff. We're about to fight the Act 6 boss, which is Eketzel. And he's kind of scary a little bit. The biggest thing is don't stand in the volcanoes and don't get sundered. So if you can not, if you can avoid getting sundered and you can stay out of the volcanoes, you're going to be fine. And if you can't do those things, you're going to die. So let's go and tell him hello. Turtle Shell rank up. I love to see that. This is easily one of the best defensive abilities in the game. So getting more levels on that is great. Wonder what... oh, hang on. I did a dum-dum. I did a really big dum-dum. Let's put that back on Drain Essence. And what is the recast here? Down to 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, if I'm dying, I can get a shield for like half of my health. Which is pretty good. That does get down to, I want to say 6, but it might be 8 seconds at max level. It's probably 8, actually. Alright, so the procs are starting to be real. I could also be looking for Arcane Blaze procs, but I think I'd probably want more skill points for my main skill. It is a shame that these are boots, because that +2 to Drain Essence would be very useful. Maybe I'll try and farm up a new weapon with +2 Drain Essence instead of the Aether Lightning proc. That Lightning proc is really good though. This one being a little bit old level-wise is probably not doing a whole lot at the moment. If we look at the damage on it actually, Aether Lightning, 1.9k Aether damage, and then this ring here, level 75, that's actually still kind of relevant. Anyway, it's fine. Just notice that the Aether Blaze proc there also provides the same resistance shredding as the skeletons, so... Alright, welcome to the Desolate Waste. You're stuck here until you either win or die. I'm going over here. I want to check for the Exalted Stash, because I like loot. You need to die very, very quickly, please. He didn't have a weapon, so that's kind of fine. Yeah, I'm checking for the Exalted Stash over here, so let's actually go check that. Underneath this head skull, you would see a massive glowing red rock, and if it's there, that's your Exalted Stash. And if it's not, well, then it's not there, so you'll have to go find it. Is he getting healed? Or am I just mousing over other things? That doesn't matter. They're all dead. Okay, Devotion Point. I don't need Devotion Points, but I do need loot. And I do need, that's 2 Arcanes, which I don't love. Let's turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. Now, I didn't notice any Aether Corrupted in there, but I'm still kind of scared of that goop. Shroud of Illusion could be okay. Let me just pick all this stuff up. It's very unlikely that any of this is going to be used, but it is possible. And where was it? No, it's a... Where is it actually? The Robes of Illusion, wasn't it? Oh, there they are. Okay. Nah, it's all elemental stuff. Yeah, no. That's fine. I'll live without. Thank you. Let's round a few of these guys up and see if we can't kill them all at once. You can just kind of hang out. That's fine. Tyrants are somewhat terrifying. Depending on what weapons they have, they can be very terrifying. Okay, so I'm checking in the top left here, and then if the Exalted Stash is not up here, doesn't look like it is, then I'm out of ideas, and I kind of don't really care so much about it that I'm going to go looking. I would love to change those boots in right now, but unfortunately we're in the middle of nowhere, so unlikely that this will work. He says as it just kind of works and doesn't break any resistances. Bleeding. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take the extra points in Spectral Wrath and Death Sentence for sure. The Time Warp proc, if I can... There it is, that's it. It's kind of, like, it's okay defensively. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not needed. And I would rather have an offensive proc. But that's fine, we'll work with it. +4 to my resistance shredding skills is kind of an offensive proc, if you squint a little bit. Alright, so we're in Void's Edge. This is the boss area for Act 6, or Act 5, sorry. I think I said Act 6 earlier as well. This is kind of the boss of the swamp area. So Eketzul, volcanoes under your feet. When he leans forward to flap his wings at you, that's the thunder attack, so you want to dodge that. And otherwise, it's just kind of stand there and kill him, really, if I'm being honest. If you built your character properly, he won't be able to touch you, and if you haven't, then you'll die. Which, you know, it's a little bit blunt, but it's also true. Alright, so I've got a lot of ground effect things, so I want to keep him in those as much as I can. Which means I want to kind of keep him in one spot. So I'm going to evade through him and then stand next to him, and hopefully the volcanoes will come out sort of towards the point where he dies. So he's going to lean forward now, and I'm going to... that's the volcano. You can see the little fireballs kind of spitting out there. I probably am getting hit from that, so I'm going to back off now and just wait until it's stopped spitting fireballs out. There we go. And that's it. That's the boss dead. And, was I taking damage? Is this lightning hurt? I was taking damage from something. Also, I probably should have put a point in there. And this is kind of the point where additional levels give you skill points that you don't really need. Now, you can pump the bar up here. You'll get some more stats. Which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. You can also maybe take some points in Ill Omen for reduced target's damage, if that's something you want, or you could use Horn of Gandar for the same thing. You can convert this to Aether damage somehow. I mean, global conversion of vitality, which I have a decent amount of, will do the vitality side. I think that it might be a conduit from memory that does it, or perhaps a legendary set or something. But there is a way to convert all that. I'll probably just sit on the skill points, or put them into maybe something like Deadly Aim. More offensive ability, which is lagging behind a little bit. Still triggers, so 8% crit chance is not horrible. In fact, let's just do that for now. It's not going to make much difference, and honestly, the bar is not a bad place to do it either. Alright, do I want to fight Olgrim? You know what? This is an episode for doing stuff I don't normally do. Let's kill him. What happened? Hang on. I'm not the Emperor. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. There it is. Okay, so let's do this. So he's basically a Nightblade. He's got a decent chunk of health. I don't think he sunders, but don't quote me on that. I haven't fought him for quite a while. And this is going to look very anticlimactic. But we are going to kill him. Assuming I don't run out of energy before he dies. He's not actually going to die. I think we get him down to just low, and then he goes, oh, hang on, I remember you. And then the fight's over. I am definitely going to run out of energy before we get there, though. So if you're playing a squishy build that has to run around and kite a lot, good luck. I have played squishy builds that need to run around and kite a lot, and Olgrim, when I've decided to fight him on those builds, has pretty much just killed him. Or killed them. Alright, can I let my energy refill? There we go. For a little bit. Think so. There we go. Alright, so Olgrim is dead-ish. Can't really see him in there, but you can see the question mark. And like I said, a little bit anticlimactic on this character because this is basically a life-stealing warded brick. But, there we go. 120,000 XP, which is pretty good. Whole bunch of Black Legion reputation, and we're going through to Malmouth. So there you go. I don't show this very often because it is somewhat risky. He has a lot of health. It takes a long time to kill him, although, to be fair, this character does not exactly roll around in huge amounts of oh my god. In huge amounts of damage. So Tyrants here, physical stuff, reduce my damage, and then of Alacrity, attack faster. This one's not too bad, actually. I've seen these things with 600% physical damage on them before, so that one is a little bit scary, but nothing like some of the ones I've been hit with. Especially when you're playing a Force Wave Soldier and you're actually trying to farm those things. When you get a really good one, you just have to think, My god, he was hitting me with that. And I've definitely seen half of my health bar go away in one hit with those things before. I see an arcane. Let's go ahead and take him out. Havel Aldous, that really is your name. Okay, Death Whisper leggings. Could be good. Probably not, but could be. I'm tempted to wear these for the armor, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because of resistances. However, how are we doing for Black Legion? We are revered with the Black Legion. So I can probably just chuck Mankind's Vigil onto all of my armor, and then just wear them anyway. We'll see how we go with elemental resistances, though. Just run through here. There is some loot hidden in the skull over here. Why not get it? Why not? So, big helmet here. Or helmet, big skull. Hidden loot. Maybe kind of hard to see. Everything here is dark. Alright, and we are through. We have escaped to the other side of the Void's Edge, and we have to talk to Old Mate after we just beat him down. This is incredibly rare, that a quest this late in the game gives you a random blueprint, and you don't already have it, so I'm going to go ahead and eat that. There we go. And what was it? These Shade Leather, no, Death Whisper leggings. So these are not for this build. They are not great for this build. However, they are actually pretty good because of the 8 or 600 increase in armor. And the fact that I'm not losing physical resist, I'm gaining it. I'm gaining avoidance against melee attacks. The only issue is going to be, can I afford to lose 50 elemental? And the answer is yes. So let's go see if I can pop these bad boys on. Get some new dugs. And actually, I'm going to leave... I'm not going to break those just yet. Because I may need... Actually, don't need Aether Resistance. Okay, cool. So, bye. Nice, new pants. Extra armor, always good. Chance to avoid melee attacks, always good. Move speed, offensive ability, physical resistance, always, always good. The proc on these, I don't care. +2 to a bunch of skills I don't care about. Damage types I don't care about. These are just generically good as well. So, pretty happy to find those. My legs are now really good armor, and the rest of my kit is not. But we are going to start finding level 82 and 84 legendaries. I mean, we have been finding them. So that's going to be pretty good. Okay, can I wear these? Do I want to? +2 to death sentence, really, really good. Let's just see what happens. Aether is still fine. Elementals, 10% over. Yeah, I'm okay with that as well. These are... I mean, these are light. These are basically cloth armor versus heavy shoulders. And the difference in level is, what, 34? No, not quite. 19. But the difference in level is enough that it's basically the same armor. And I get +2 to death sentence, which is really, really good. So, do I want to melt this? Yeah, I think I do. I don't think I want to use those again. There we go. Bone Shatter Treads. Not bad. The damage proc on those would be converted to Vitality. At least the Vitality half of it would be. 50 reduced target's defensive ability is basically 50 offensive ability for me. It's not, but it kind of is. But I think I'm just going to leave that one. So let's just go sell it. I'm going to hang on to this ring, obviously, just in case I need to swap out of the other one. And I'm just going to have to assume that every single one of the pools of Aether that I find on the ground, all of them are from enemies. Every single time, they're all hostile, they're all going to kill me, and I need to get out of all of them. Do we have augment on that? I do. 15% bleeding. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I can afford to lose that. Let's get a Survivor's Perseverance. That's going to be these guys. There we go. Can go ahead and chuck that on this ring as well. Get a little bit of extra damage. A little bit of Aether and Chaos Res. Which I absolutely do not need. But that's fine. That's beautiful. Okay, so we've made it through to Malmouth. Let's see if we can't get through to at least the sewers today. Should be more than doable. And I'm pretty happy with this. Resistance-wise is good. I definitely need some more armor. I will be farming a new one of these once we get to the sewers, for sure. Unfortunately, it does look like it has to have bleeding resistance on it. But that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Alright, let's make our way down, and we can do some of Dayla's quests. Get some XP. Alright, I definitely feel like I'm doing more damage. Maybe I'm just attacking squishier targets. Could be that as well. Yes, so coming up to the city of Malmouth, we're going to get new weapon, we're going to get new armor, and level 90. And we're looking for Dreeg. Honored already. Do you need Revered for their stuff? I think you might need Revered for their armor. At level 90, that's fine. I'm not going to go and farm Reputation with them just to get some armor that I don't really need. Alright, you guys can just chill out there. See, the procs are back to killing things, which is nice. If I throw out Death Sentence to shred all their resistances and just occasionally either let myself get hit or pretend that I did, even though I didn't, then all their Aether resistances will get sucked down to nothing, and I can just kind of kill them with the damage procs. This, however, I'm not going to be killing with just procs. Officer's Warcleaver of Ruin. That's definitely in the list of things I don't want to get hit with. So I'm glad it's on the floor. Seal of Corruption. Okay. Now, here's where it gets fun. So Seal of Corruption will give you 11 flat Aether damage, which is way more than the 4 to 6 you get from the Wrathstone. But the Aether Corruption, also quite good, does Aether damage, reduces attack and cast speed. But the percentage Aether damage, this is only 50%. Whereas one Wrathstone gives you 25% for having the component, and then also gives you the Aether Weapons Aura, which gives you another 75, so it's double. I do think it's probably worth swapping one of these for a Corruption, if you remember to cast the spell that it gives you. Now, I'm horrible, absolutely horrible, at remembering to cast that spell. So for me, I would probably prefer to just keep the extra percentage from the Wrathstones. Having said that, though, I'm doing air quotes with one hand. The optimal choice here is to have one of each, and to cast the spell. But I know me, I'm not going to cast the spell. I will forget it. Let's get out of that just in case. I will forget to cast it, and it'll just never happen. So I'm not going to bother. Okay, I haven't found the treasure trove, or at least I didn't notice it if I've already walked past it. And that's kind of fine. Definitely noticing the reduced range on Word of Pain. I might just put some skill points into it, to be honest. So we've found the first of the red circles on the floor. This one doesn't have a portal. Once again, if you remember from back in normal, then... Oh, there's my treasure trove. Then this little bit of water here looks like a gun or a pistol, or a penis, someone said. Whatever you want to call it. That little bit of water, run out the end there, and it points you straight towards the first one. And then you can head north. I guess it's kind of like northwest, because it's basically straight up with a little bit off to the left. And you will find the second one. This is pretty good XP here. Look at the XP bar. It's like, what, 5% for just standing there and beaming all them down? There's my second one. And it does indeed have the portal in it, so let's go in. I've cleared 2 of them, so there's a 1 in 3 chance that I'm going to be dumped into the middle of a pile of monsters when I come out. Gabble Thune, do I want to... You know what? Yes. Yes, I do want to. Come over here, big boy. Let's go. You and me. Done. Definitely need some more damage on this. But tankiness is good. Get some more armor, it's going to be basically invincible. And where is... So getting Spectral Wrath up would be nice, and then over here on the Inquisitor, Death Sentence is up to -29, which is pretty good. I'm heading in completely the wrong direction here, so I'm going to turn around and head south. I definitely need to kill the Dreadguard. There we go. Searing of the Abomination. It's kind of who cares. That's not too bad. It's the really big physical affixes you want to be scared of. Even Tyrants is not that bad. Alright. So these guys are going to start healing, and now the question with any kind of low damage over time build is, can you burn through them fast enough that they don't just out-heal it? And it turns out that this is actually not that low damage now that I'm seeing that they could be killed with it. Last time I played a Chaos Aether or a Chaos Ray Warlock using Albrecht's Chaos Ray, I had to split them up. I could not do enough damage to kill them, and it was actually quite painful. I did get through it in the end, but being able to kill them before they heal is a sign that the damage, even though I feel like it's a bit anemic, it's actually not that bad. I've played worse damaging characters through the game, and it was fine. Alright, am I going to go do that? You know what, let's go pay a visit to Lunar Vargoth. I don't think I'm going to end up using her belt. I'm probably going to have to go for another run through... what's it called? Through Port Valbury at some point to get an updated belt. Definitely want to get this. Let's kill off these guys first. But yeah, we can go kill Lunar Vargoth anyway. The choice here in Ultimate is incredibly important. Do not let the cultists out. If you do that, you are going to lose the best place in the game to farm reputation with the witch cults, and it's going to take you a lot longer to do it. So I'll mention it again when we get there, but absolutely don't let those cultists out, unless you want the Monster Infrequent from the boss that they swap the Griffin with, which we don't, I think. Let me double check that just before I go ahead and say it. What is his name even? Alright, hang on. I'll pull up a map. And then I'll go to the Ruins of Abid. Go into the Temple of Atef. Go down to the second level. So his name is... in Ashkor, or... why can't I zoom in anymore? Keten Thun. Okay, let's go have a look at his monster entry. So that is the regular version. It's the other version. Notable loot, Blood of Chthon. Notable loot, Blood of... okay, let's put him up to level 100. Okay, so in Ashkor's Corrupted Head is what he drops. And let me just see if I can't bring that over here. Go to my browser. That's the full screen. You don't need to see that. And we will set that to this one. All right. So this is what he drops. Physical, chaos, internal trauma, acid to physical, chaos to physical. So this is... that's quite nice. This is what he would drop. We don't need that for this build, so no. I should have had that set up, actually. Production value here is off the chart. It's just off the wrong end of the chart. Alright, that's fine. So we're heading up through the fringes of sanity. We're going to kill Lunar Vargoth. And we are, importantly, not going to let the cultists out of their little cage. Because if you do, they will run off, they will kill in Ashkor, replace him with one of these guys, basically. Or effectively the same as Gabalthun. that kind of winged Chthonian, I guess. They're not really demons. And his loot is not worth the loss of the reputation farm. So, what approaches? Well, it's Lunar Valgoth, Steward of Darkness. And down she goes. So she has dropped me the Waistguard of Supremacy. +1 to Necromancer is good. Chaos to Vitality, I don't care. Other stats on this are actually fairly decent. And the armor would be a nice upgrade. I want the Vitality conversion though, so I'm not going to use that. Void Soul Mantle. Why do I have a feeling this is something for this build? Yeah, it is. This is a Deceiver set, actually. So the other build that I'm playing at the moment, which is not bad. Chaos Doombolt, and then I guess Flames of Ignifar? Chaos Flames of Ignifar? Or, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the ones I was, I think, looking at for the other character I'm playing at the moment. Is that the mythical? It's not, there is no mythical. Alright, cool. And we came out of the same hole we went into. Giggity. So we gotta run over here and talk to old mate. And by talk to, I just mean I'm gonna drop a rift and come back. So, 46 minutes. I should be able to get the other part of the quest complete in that amount of time. And I'm just gonna say I'm gonna do it. And if it takes an hour and 10, then that's fine. So I'm going to come over here, and here is not Dela. Okay. How did I not get Dela here? So if you ever get to this point and Dela is not there, it means you didn't do her first quest. So let's go ahead and go rummage through her sock drawer again, which is not creepy at all. Yeah, I didn't even go to her house. Okay, cool. Must have been waffling about something. That's usually what happens. So you come here, you grab her diary. Her house is here on the map. Then we can go back to Homestead. Swear a little bit, because I just cleared my rift. And I'm going to have to run all the way from Weathertop or whatever it's called. But that's fine, that's fine. We can talk to Dela. Found your diary. Secret safe with me. Wink. Yeah, I'll take the extra damage when that triggers. And I'm going to leave that there. That I already know about. Alright, I am actually going to pause the recording and not make you watch the run back. So I'll see you when I get back to where Dela's going to be. Decided to take a quick stop here at the third of the red circles, just to show it where it is on the map. Pretty much due east from the tip of the tap. So this is the third one, if you didn't find yours at the first two. And we're almost back to Dela now. Cool. So now that she's here, I'm going to open a rift, and hope I don't close this one again. And we're going to head into the city. So as usual, you can never have enough 8th crystals, so let's blap these. Grab the 8th crystals and be on our way. There is a decent amount of them out in the front of the city, and there's also a decent amount of them actually in the city. So we're going to get a nice amount of them just from doing this expansion kind of normally-ish, which is good. Okay, I was going to say, I think there's some of these sort of in the walls that don't drop them, but anyway, that's fine. There's plenty that do. These guys, the ethereal, is that actually an Aether Guardian? Anyway, these big towers also drop them, so that's nice. And I did see this guy down here. It would be rude to leave him sitting there in the proc and then not pick up the crystal. Alright, let's power through these guys. Actually shred the resistances on the big ones, probably important. And we're into the city proper now, which is great. I probably need to change out that soul shard for another ectoplasm, actually. Alright, so we're into the city. I don't need that devotion shrine, so I think I'm going to leave it for the moment. However, I do need XP and loot, so I'm going to kill this guy. There we go. If I ever do Lokar, I'll probably kill that when I when I do that. And we're going into the sewers here. This side of the sewers I don't show super often. Mostly because I got sick of this place when I was farming the Krieg set. Which I think I've farmed 4 or 5 complete sets on several different characters. This place is really good for dynamite, but otherwise, yeah. I've been here, I've done this. Alright, this room here, this is the main room. You're going to find Turnox here sometimes. You're going to find that dynamite here all the time. And this room can have, I think the most I've seen is 7. That's not great. I don't want to be sundered. I think 7 is the most dynamite I've found in here. So let's just have a look. I've got 7 on me now. Let's pick that one up. This one's guaranteed. The rest come out of random boxes, scrap piles. Watch me get 0 additional dynamite. Alright, there we go. I think all of that popped. This place with a soldier is really great because you get one of the items that adds weapon damage onto Warcry. You stand here, you Warcry, it hits everything in here. Click on the 2 chests and you're done. And yeah, I got exactly 1 dynamite this time. Which is fine, but it would have been nice to get a bigger number after I've just told everyone how great this place is for farming dynamite. Turns out, actually not that great. Still just okay. The other places for Turnox, if you're interested in the Aether set, which I'll probably get at some point. Krieg's gloves and boots are really good for any Aether build. So Turnox could be here, he could be here, and he could be just over the other side of this bridge, kind of between these 2 pylons. I am no doubt going to end up farming those boots and gloves at some point. Turnox drops the boots. But this is what I'm actually here for this time. Dravis's letter. And we can... Why is everybody standing right in front of me? We can get out of here now. So we'll head out this way. This is going to put us just in front of the Rift Gate, which is kind of where I want to be. Let's go this way. There is mages over there, which I definitely want to kill, just on the off chance that they have a new weapon for me. These ones probably not so much. I will likely farm a new weapon, similar to the way I did this on normal. Ooh, there's a lot of heroes up here too. Let's run upstairs. You don't want to attack things uphill because you get mischance. Actually, that's not a thing in this game. Am I actually hitting him? I feel like the pole was in the way there. Alright, let's turn the loot off just so I can see what's going on. And we're going to take this Rift Gate out, swarming with ethereals, it says. Colossus dying before they even get out of the ground is something I love to see. And then these mages here, well, I think they're mostly dead because they already came out to play. But these are the guys you want to farm, if you are so inclined to farm things. There's mages up here. There's mages, and especially hero mages, in this little building, sort of a little bit out the back here. And then, if you're really desperate, there are mages also down here in this building as well. So, good place to farm weapons. Farm a weapon if you're needing a new one. I will do this farm probably in between episodes. I may or may not record it. If I do record it, it's not going to be part of a main episode. I'll just have an extra one. Okay, so we'll talk to Olgrim, and let's run on down, find Galakros, and I'm going to kill him and get to the hideout, and then I think that'll be it for today's episode. But got to get there first. Probably don't need to be killing all this, but man, I just love XP. Few mages, definitely want to be killing them. And yeah, I see that. I see you up there. That's not worth it. Would have to go all the way back around. No. For a single chest, not worth. Alright, ghost crabs leaving their cold goop on the ground. There is some hidden loot if you follow that wall just to the left there, around and off the map. If I hadn't already clicked on the door, I would absolutely go and get it, but that's fine. Kind of have a mission at the moment. Kill Galacros, get to the Coven. We've got 5 minutes to do it. Let's see if it can happen. I mean, it definitely can. It won't take that long to run there. Maybe I should just kill this stuff. It's a lot of XP I'm running past. Here we go. We'll kill some stuff. And there we go. Lovely. Alright, my bloodlust has been sated for the moment. Let's skip a few oh, no. No, I have to. It's too juicy. It's too juicy. I can't not kill this. There we go. Alright, let's go pay a visit to Galacros here. Now, clear the doorway. Blow this up. Probably stuff coming out of the ground behind me as I go in. This is actually a pretty good farm for even endgame. I saw a video from Arsnumak, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong. But he's come up with a farming method which involves getting Nemesis with the Ethereal Vanguard. And then coming in here, because it's a treacherous domain, it's much faster to summon Nemesis in here. And basically you go through here, you kill a bunch of stuff, you fight Galacros, and then, hey look, it's Archmage Alexander. And my testing shows that it's about as effective as totem farming in terms of legendaries per time. The only reason I don't say that this is now the way that I farm for new characters, the reason for that is just because this is one area, and you are going to get bored running one area over and over and over again. Especially when you can just go do other totems in other places, and it's about the same. But I think I may end up adding this to my farming route. So shout out again to Arsnumak, which I don't know if that means something in another language, but in English that's a mouthful. He actually has a YouTube channel as well if you want to go check him out. He does similar sort of playthroughs. So if you're interested in that, definitely look him up. And there we go. What did I actually get out of that? I think I got the wrong chest piece, but let's have a look. Is it the wrong one? It is actually the right one. It's got a good conversion percentage, actually. Level 94 kind of hurts. Bleeding resistance on it, I'm assuming is part of the... it's got to be part of the base MI. But level 94, that's my new chest piece, unless I find something better. I might kill him a few times. There is usually, anyway, I haven't checked for sure, but usually there is a level 84 version, which is what I want at the moment. So I'm probably going to kill him a few times in between episodes and kind of see how that goes. See if we can get something in between. Also, the affixes on that previous one are pants. They're really bad. Of the Void is chaos damage, which means it's useless. And then I think it was aggressive. Aggressive is good, 4% OA. Can't complain about that. Okay, and we have made it. So I've been sent here to help. What is this place? Black Legion's on its way. Yes. Talk to old mate here. And remember that thing I said that I wanted to make sure I didn't reset? Well, let's go do it before I reset it. I'm shocked this was here. Alright, so we have done all of her quests. And that's it. Alright, so one of the cool things about the Dela questline on Ultimate difficulty is she guaranteed every single time will give you Blaze Heart. Which, this is another one of those items where I look at it and I kind of go, I really want to make a build out of this. And then I never do. So we're looking at basically a fire build. And based on the bonuses here, probably a melee defiler or shield breaker. But yeah, you can get some pretty good stuff on this. You only get one per character, so getting good conversion on these is not quite so easy. We got 41, 42 on this particular one. What does it roll, actually? I kind of want to know. Let's go. Legendary daggers. Is it dagger or sword? Is it a dagger or a sword? It's a dagger. Oh, Blaze only has one Z. So, Blazeheart rolls 36 to 54 conversion on Vitality and Chaos. So this is actually pretty low rolls. Max roll on the cast speed, though, is nice. But, yeah. So she'll always drop that, which I guess is good. And this is actually going to be the end of this particular episode. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye for now.